Hello, people. Welcome to the channel. I hope you are all doing great. Let's get into the class. Today, in the class, we will be covering two areas. One is time value of money, and the second one is cost of capital. Okay, let's start with time value of money. Firstly, why do we need to know about this topic? Let me tell you something. As we all know, a certain amount now is not worth more than the same amount in the future. Correct. This is mainly because we can invest now and earn return on it, resulting in more money in the future. The same amount now and in future has different value. Exactly right. And it is important to know that how the time values money is being calculated, so that we can take better investment decisions depending on the period and the return we are expecting. So broadly, time value of money covers up three areas. I would say three components. One is compounding, second one is discounting, and third one is annuity. So we'll go into detail one by one. Let's start with compounding. What is compounding? So why do we need to use compounding? I'll tell you. Future value of present money. Compounding is basically used to calculate the future value of present money. It is used to calculate the present value of the future inflows. If the income is earned on investments and the same is being reinvested in the cycle to generate additional income. Let me make it a little bit simpler by giving an example. Let's take, for example, Mr. A. He has got 10,000 rupees and he invested in an FD with 6% interest, which is compounded annually. So, what would be the return on investment after 3 years? So, a layman calculates in this way: 10,000 rupees into 6% into 3, which gives him 1800 as the return on investment. But it's not how it's been calculated, because the interest, which is the income on investment, is being compounded annually. So now we need to calculate the return on investment. So how do we can proceed with this? I'll tell you. The return on investment would be calculated as follows: 10,000 rupees plus 6% will give me the value of investment after 1 year, and I'll add 6 more percentage, and I'll add 6 more percentage, which turns out to be 11,910 after 3 years. So the return on investment would be 1,910 rupees, which is more than 1,800, which was given earlier. So it clearly says that interest is being compounded annually. This covers up the concept of compounding. Now we'll go into discounting. So what is discounting and when do we have to use discounting? So discounting is calculated to find out the present value of future money, and it is more or less opposite to compounding. Correct. And there are few formulas I have not given. I have not discussed about it. I'll tell you on the go. So there is one formula which is used to calculate the future value of present money, which is compounding. That will be present value multiplied with 1 plus interest to the power of n. N specifically means the number of years of compounding. Next, I'll give you a formula for discounting. It's just a simple rearrangement of the formula which I've given earlier. So to find discounting, present value should be equals to future value divided by 1 plus I to the power of n. It's just the same, but I've told you that future value and present value are opposite things. So compounding and discounting formula is some similar, but it's opposite. Okay. Now the third concept is annuity. Okay. Why do we have to use annuity? I'll tell you something about it as well. So if the same amount is received or paid in regular intervals for a given period of time, then annuity shall be used to find out the present value or the future value. So there are few formulas by which we can calculate annuity. So one formula is future value equals to present value into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 whole divided by interest. So general assumption is that the investment or the receipt is being made at the year end. If in case the investment or the payment is made at the beginning of the year, then formula changes. So the new formula would be future value equals to present value, which is P, into 1 plus I divided by F to the power of n into F minus 1 into 1 plus I divided by I by F. Okay, now how the present value of annuity will be calculated? So that will be P into 1 minus 1 by 1 plus I to the power of n whole divided by I. Now I'll tell you how the EMI is being calculated. So we generally take loans on which we pay interest, principal in the form of EMIs. So to find out the EMI portion, we use annuity, because we are making a regular payment for a regular period of time, or for a regular period, for a fixed period. So how the EMI will be calculated? So the EMI will be equals to loan amount divided by present value of annuity factor for the given period of time at the rate of interest. In case if there is fixed growth in the investment, then future value equals to P into 1 minus 1 plus G to the power of n divided by 1 plus I to the power of n whole divided by I minus G. This is a bit of complicated formula to if we look at this, but it will be easy when we solve some of the problems. Okay. Now in the whole class I've mentioned I, which is basically the interest. So what would be I in case of individuals and business entities? It actually differs. For individuals like investors like us, the I would be the expected rate of return. But for the business entities, it is the maximum expected rate of return, or we can also call it as cost of capital. So to summarize, we have covered the concepts of time value of money, and we have covered whole of time value of money, and in the next video I will be starting the cost of capital. Thanks for listening till now.